Hey everybody, welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signor, and October 30th can't come soon enough. Mandalorian Season 2 will debut then on Disney+, and man, I hope it's as good as the first season was. I'm so excited to get back into it. But look, I've been frustrated over the past few weeks because this stupid rumor has been out there that just isn't true. This accusation that Pedro Pascal was frustrated that he had to wear his helmet during Season 2 and went to Lucasfilm to complain, and so because they wouldn't, he decided to quit filming on Mandalorian Season 2 halfway through production. Come on. What? Why? This makes no sense. This makes no sense. They've been clear from the beginning what the role entailed. And if you know anything about Pedro Pascal, he's one of the nicest actors, and we're going to go through it because I love when actors come forward and pretty much prove that it's not the case. He just recently dropped a whole cover story on Variety because of Wonder Woman 84 and Mandalorian Season 2. He did an interview with there talking about both projects, and we're going to break down his statements as well as statements from Patty Jenkins, Jon Favreau, to really see, could this be true? But before we get there, let's go through this stupid rumor. Let's not say where it started. But this rumor started somewhere. And mentioning, to justify the two scoopers that said it, that Entertainment Weekly Spotlight recently said that it would introduce a far larger story into the world. And so that was sort of used like, oh, clearly they're doing that to push him out because they need other characters to rely on, since this season will focus on, introducing a larger story. Stories will become less isolated. Each episode has its own flavor, and hopefully we're bringing a lot more scope to the show. If you really had read that article, the world really was captivated by Game of Thrones and how that evolved as the characters flowed different storylines. That's very appealing to me as an audience member. That's what Favreau said. He said that we'd be following different storylines outside of just The Mandalorian. Now, the reason they're introducing these other characters is because they're going to use this show to make spin-offs. They've been clear on that one since day one. They've all said that. Bob Iger said that. And I've reported on these scoops, which no one listens, but they're going to be doing a live-action Rebels series. I reported on it with Fandom Wire, made a video about it. It got sort of lost in the ether. But yes, they are making a live-action Rebels series. They're going to be introducing all those characters, and you will see an Ahsoka Tano series. Ahsoka, I always say her name wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't watch that show. I'm going to learn as I see it and hear it more often. I'll learn it more specifically. But I've watched like 4 episodes. I still can't get that name right. But anyway, Rosario Dawson, she's going to get her own show. Rebels is going to it's a version of Rebels with a lot of those characters. A live action version is happening. So that's why they're introducing these characters. And so they want to have other opportunities here and use The Mandalorian to springboard other Star Wars Disney Plus series. Obviously, that's the intent here. Also, it's a show about a bounty hunter carrying a baby around. It's like, yeah, please introduce some other interesting storylines. I love this one. Let it happen. But there's no reason they couldn't. It's a week to week, different thing. Let's follow an episode with Cara Dune. I'm all for that. Let's meet some new characters. Let's do what Game of Thrones did and spread out and build this world of Star Wars. I don't think it just solely has to be this journey. Do you disagree? That's the plan. I don't think any of that proves that he left. But again, it came down to him complaining, and this got picked up through so many sources because it's slow news season. But so many people say that Pedro really wanted to have some scenes with his helmet off. And the Mandalorian creative team wouldn't budge. Pedro, from 2 sources, frustrated about this, was pretty darn uncomfortable in the suit and became difficult. Final straw, though, is he went to Lucasfilm and sources to try and get them to intervene on his behalf. Can you imagine the actor that's going to be like, I want my helmet off. You told me from day one that the helmet's going to be on, but I want it off. No? Well, I'm going above you. I'm going to Lucasfilm to complain because I'm that annoying of an actor. Anyway, that didn't work, yada, yada, yada. And then the creative team, they included focus on more standalone episodes. So apparently because of his complaints, the storyline was changed to focus instead on more characters. Like, guys, that's not how shows work. Especially a show like The Mandalorian, they wrote it in advance. It's ready to go. Season 3 is ready to go. You don't suddenly just be like, oh yeah, you know what? Our actor wants his helmet off, and we're not going to do it because we're jerks, and he's clearly a jerk, so we're going to stand our ground and be like, no. There's no way we're going to work with you, Pedro, if you really want that. We are going to say no. There's no chance, even though creatively we figured out a way to do it in season 1. There's no way we'll do it again in season 2 or beyond, so get used to it, buddy. In fact, you're getting so difficult, we're going to start filming other characters here because clearly you're trouble. Come on. That's my new catchphrase I'm starting. Is it working yet? Come on. This is stupid. So how stupid is it? Well, let's look how stupid it is. Now, let's go through some of these quotes that Pedro Pascal did in this, which I highly suggest you go check out this Variety article. Patty Jenkins speaks very highly of him. So many people do. But they talk about how he must hide his face. I want to get to the specific part. I'm continually so surprised when everybody pegs him as such a serious guy, says Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins. I have to say, Pedro is one of the most appealing people I've known. He instantly becomes someone that everybody invites over and you want to have around and you want to talk to. Within 5 minutes of his talking with him, you get an immediate sense of what Jenkins is talking about. Before interviewer starts, Pascal points out via Zoom, my dog is licking his neither regions in the background. Don't stop him, he says with an almost naughty reproach. Let him live his life. Guys, Pedro Pascal is awesome. Leave him alone with scoopers. He was this nonsense. So anyway, over 3 conversations, apparently, he fooled this reporter and Patty Jenkins and Jon Favreau because he's a diva. He's a diva, guys. And so here's Favreau hyping him up too. Apparently after he walked off set, here's Favreau's statements. He feels very much like a classic movie star in his charm and his delivery, and he's somebody who takes his craft very seriously. Favreau felt Pascal the presence and skill essential to deliver the character. Most Mando, who spends virtually every second on screen without wearing a helmet, part of the sacrosanct creed of the Mandalorian warrior. Convincing an actor to hide their face for the run of a series can be as precarious as escaping a Sarlacc pit. To win Pascal over in the initial meeting, Favreau brought him behind the Mandalorian curtain into a conference room, papered with storyboards covering the arc of the first season. Oh, wait, so they plan the season ahead of time? No. They don't just change it willy-nilly and say, you know what, we're going to change and focus on standalone characters here instead of him because he's being difficult. Gotta hate people who think they understand the industry and then report scoops, have clearly no understanding of the industry. Anyway, Mandalorian curtain they showed all the storyboards. It must have felt a little surreal, Favreau says. You know, most of your experience as an actor, people are kicking the tires to see if it's a good fit, but in this case, everything was locked and loaded. Needless to say, it worked. I hope this doesn't sound like me fashioning myself like so smart. This is Pascal talking, but I agreed to do the show because the impression I had when I first had my meeting was that this was the next big, I'll say thing. He didn't say thing. Pascal says with a laugh. He clearly understood when he got in, like, oh man, this is going to be huge. I want in, sign me up. I'm all in. What are we doing? And then Favreau's determination to cast Pascal, however, put the actor in a tricky situation. His own commitments to make Wonder Woman 84 made it tricky. So those that don't know, Pascal actually left season 1. He left the set in season 1. Why? Scheduling conflicts. And they reaffirmed this. This has been out there if anybody knew. So just because he left set, which some people are reporting, doesn't mean anything. Some scenes on the show and in a whole episode leaned on the anonymity of the title character more than anyone quite planned, with 2 stunt performers, Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder, playing Mando on set and Pascal dubbing in the dialogue months later. Pascal was already being asked on us to smother one of his best tools as an actor, extraordinarily uncommon for anyone shouldering the newest iteration of a global live-action franchise. Imagine Robert Downey Jr. only wearing the mask in Iron Man. You can't. Now he had to hand over control of Mando's body to other performers too. Some actors would have walked away. Pascal didn't. Notice what they did there? Pascal didn't walk away because he doesn't walk away because he's a good dude. Leave him alone. If there were more than just a couple pages of one-on-one scene, I did feel uneasy about not, in some instances, being able to totally author that, he says. But it was so easy in such a sort of practical and exciting way for me to be up to them. For it to be up to them. When you're dealing with a franchise as large as this, you are such a passenger to however they're going to carve it out. It's just so specific. It's Star Wars. So he's making it clear, like, look, I'm a passenger here. I got to deal with this big epic scope. I get it. I'd let them do what they want. And then here they say, for season 2, Pascal says he was on the set far more, though he still sat out many Mando stunts. Mandalorian was indeed the next thing, catapulting Disney Plus to 26 million subscribers. I noted offhand that how he effectively is the face of one of the biggest pop culture franchises in the world. Pascal could barely suppress rolling his eyes. I mean, come on. There, he's using my line. Come on, there isn't a face, he says with a laugh that feels a little forced. If you want to say you're the silhouette, which is also a team effort, then yeah. Can we just cut to the S, though, and talk about the child? So look, someone could say, oh, well, you should know it, but no. But he's clearly like, come on, I'm not I don't have the hubris of others. I don't just do this because, like, clearly this is a team effort, as he says. I'm just happy to be here. And then he's like, come on, let's just talk about the child. Clearly not jealous of the child, which I skipped through that report. That was another reason why he left, because he was getting frustrated that the child was getting more attention. Come on. But so then they talk about the child and how amazing it was. And then again, Favreau, literally my eyes falling left to right, up and down, of boom, Baby Yoda close to the end of the first episode. That was when I was like, okay, yep, that's the winner. And so because he was the breakout star, Pascal understood from the jump. He's tracking the arc of that relationship, says Favreau. His insight has made us rethink moments over the course of the show. As with all things Star Wars, he doesn't get into specifics, but Mando realized he knew from the beginning how to play that relationship with the Wii scene stealer, and he took that. Favreau notices that. Even if Pascal couldn't be inside Mando's body, he never left the character's head, always aware of how this orphan bounty hunter who roams from planet to planet would look askance at anything that felt too good or too adorable to be true. The transience is something that I'm incredibly familiar with, Understanding the opportunity for complexity under all the armor was not hard for me. And then they really break down where he came from and his Chilean heritage. It's a great read. I'm not going to sit here and read the whole thing for you. Go check it out. But the bottom line was so many more amazing things are said about him. Patty Jenkins just loves him because they did Game of Thrones together, and then he thought she was going to forget about him, and she didn't. And she didn't like audition him for Wonder Woman 84. She's like offered it, and he does this amazing thing where he says here, it was an effing offer. I really wasn't grasping that Patty wanted to talk to me about a part that I was going to play, not a part that I needed to get. I wasn't able to totally accept that. This is a humble guy, dudes. Like, he is so humble and nice. And if you go read this and everything else that's out there, this story was BS. Total BS. Look, and I'm not saying the scooper was lying. Maybe they were given a bill of goods. It happens. But come on, this is ridiculous. Enough trying to beat this one on the ground. Anybody who's out there, correct it. This is not the drama. This is not the drama tree to chase up. Could there be problems on Star Wars? Sure. Could there be problems behind the scenes? Always. That happens. Could he have walked off the set once? Maybe. But quitting the show... It's really getting lazy out there. People are just desperate for clickbait hooks. Well, what should I call this to clickbait all you guys? I don't know. Hopefully I figured out something. Maybe I didn't. Tell me, should I have clickbaited? What did you guys think? Did you buy this story? Do you still buy this story? Leave some comment love down for the algorithm, because the more you interact and like this video, the more it gets shared and the channel succeeds. So thank you guys for watching. You can also hit me up on social media or check out all these other videos. And as always, if you haven't, please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. See you.